Hi, I'm Guy Cater. Welcome to the Guy Cater Show, where we showcase New Zealand variety entertainers. And variety is certainly the word tonight. We have two wonderful artists for you. One is a Grandmaster of Magic, and that's very special. That's Alan Watson, QSM. And the other one is a comedian who writes the most wonderful parodies. That's Gish. You'll see them on the show tonight. But first up on the show tonight, he hails from Auckland's North Shore with a family steeped in the history of magic. Here's Alan Watson, QSM. Alan, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Guy.
So good to see you. Now, as I said in the introduction, your family's steeped in magical history. Take us through that.
Well, I'm very lucky because all my family are involved in magic. My great-uncle was performing during the First World War, was one of the original foundation members for the New Zealand Society of Magicians back in 1920.
Wow.
And he passed the wand of magic on to me, and I passed it on to my three daughters, Melanie, Larissa and Nicole, and all three become champion magicians. And I'll tell you something very close to my heart, my granddaughter, a fourth generation, Alicia, and she's a New Zealand champion.
That's wonderful. How did you start in magic?
Well, I was playing around at my uncle's place, and he just showed me a puzzle. I didn't realise he was a magician at that stage, and he taught me, he showed me some things, and I just went from there.
You were young then?
I was 7, 6, 7.
7. So then you grew up.
Mm-hmm.
Were you living on the North Shore then?
No, I was out at Pakuranga.
At Pakuranga, right. So you grew up. What turned you into a professional magician?
Well, I was working for Hugh Wrights for a number of years, and I was very happy because I was a manager. I was the youngest manager they had when I was 19, but something wasn't right. I wanted to be a professional magician, and I realised I didn't have the credentials to go, because I realised that marketing was a very important part. So I went repping for a few years, and then I got the necessary skills, and one morning I woke up and thought, that's it, I'm going to be a professional magician.
Well, that's wonderful. You certainly, over the years, you have done so much. All those shows at the Magic Castle in Hollywood. Tell us about that.
Well, I dreamt, I always wanted to work at the Magic Castle. Now, when I first come back into magic, if I said I was going to work at the Magic Castle, you would have laughed. I couldn't hold a deck of cards straight. And I set a goal. I said, 7 years, I'll work at the Magic Castle. Well, I got there 7 years, 3 weeks.
And you've done a lot of shows there.
Yeah, well, I've done more than 100. And what I did is I wanted to be different to everyone else. And so I thought, what's my unique point of difference? Well, my unique point of difference is I was a Kiwi. So I got sponsorship from 3 major New Zealand companies and designed a whole New Zealand act, and it proved to be a winner.
The Magic Castle is rather special, and for those that don't know, it's sort of the mecca for magicians around the world, and very few get chosen to perform there. And Alan, you performed there how many times?
Just over 100 shows.
Just over 100. That's wonderful. Now, you also have done so much for young magicians. Oh, and your Ezine, or Ezine, how do you say that?
Ezine.
Ezine.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a little story. Alan is so well known internationally that every year I go to the United States to perform around grad nights, and they always have a magician there, whether I'm in Utah or Wyoming or all the shows in California. And when the magicians find out that I come from New Zealand, first question they ask, do you know Alan Watson? Now, how do all these magicians know you worldwide?
Well, it's strange because computers have always been my hobby, and I remember a friend of mine died and I didn't find out for about 2 months. So I thought, well, I'll start an e-zine for the New Zealand magicians to keep them up to date with the lectures and the passing and broken wands and people that pass, you know, our own people in our own industry. And it just grew from there. Then the World Championships came along, and then it went to 2,000. Now it's over 17,500.
That is amazing. Now, you've been such a good magician, you've done so many things, you have accolades galore, but there's some important ones. First of all, you're a Benny winner, which is the highest accolade that the Variety Artists Club of New Zealand can give, so you have a Benny.
Yes.
And then down here, we see these beautiful medals, and we'll let you tell us what they are. So you're a Grandmaster of Magic. That's pretty rare, isn't it, in New Zealand?
Well, it's the highest honour that they can give a New Zealand magician. And I think there's only been 16 and since its history in 1969 being given out.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, the Dragon Award, that I know is very special.
It's very special to me and my wife. It's the highest international award New Zealand magicians received. What I like about it is I've been very lucky or very fortunate where I've received a number of awards over the years, but they've never recognised my wife. Well, the Dragon Award is given to a team, a husband and wife team, and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my wife, Michelle. So that, to me, is very special.
That is special. Now, that was presented to you in America, wasn't it?
Yes, in front of 1,200 magicians by Paul Daniels and Debbie McGee in New York.
How awesome for you. It's so sad with Paul having just left us, but memories you must have for that.
Oh, well, Paul was a very, very close friend of ours. We stayed in his home for 10 days once, and he's been to New Zealand 4 times, and he stayed with us 3 times.
Well, of course, he was the patron of the Brotherhood of Auckland Magicians.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have him. He did so much for magic all over the world.
Yes. But then again, so have you. Not only around the world, but particularly in New Zealand. Now you have a 3rd and final award, which is just so wonderful. Now a new category was made for magic, and at the Queen's Honours, you were presented with the
Queen's Service Medal. Normally, the Queen's Service Medal for if it goes to a magician, they say for services to entertainment. But this time, well, I was really delighted. It went for services as a magician, and it's the first time the Queen's Service Medal's been given for services as a magician.
Well, that's quite remarkable. Now, we happen to have a little clip of Alan receiving his medal from the Governor-General.
Your Excellency, to receive the Queen's Service Medal, Mr. Alan Watson of Auckland for services as a magician. Mr. Alan Watson has promoted magic as entertainment in New Zealand and internationally. A member of the International Brotherhood of Magicians, he's encouraged and mentored younger magicians in their craft, including arranging sponsorship for young magicians to attend conventions and lectures in New Zealand and Australia.
Well, that was really quite wonderful, but now we must know, what did the Governor-General say to you?
Well, I wanted to do a wee bit of magic, then I thought, no, this is a very serious occasion, not to do anything. But the Governor-General, as you saw, he reached for his pocket, and I said, too late, sir, I've already got it, inferring that I'd pinched his wallet. And of course, everyone started to crack up.
Ah, that's wonderful. We didn't know when we saw it. And a lot of people will now be very, very pleased to know that. Now, Alan, you've got a residency at the moment. Where is that?
I'm working at Waipuna along with my wife every Sunday between 6:30 and 7:30 at Waipuna Restaurant, Wellington's restaurant.
So are you doing adult magic or children's magic?
Well, I'm doing adult magic and children's magic there, and Michelle does the balloon twisting.
Oh, she's good at that, is she?
Oh, she's fabulous.
Oh, that's great. Now, listen, what are your plans for the future?
Well, I've now reached 65, got my gold card.
Got your gold card.
That's not going to slow me down. I might do less shows, but I'm certainly going to enjoy it, and I'm going to be around for a long, long time to come.
Good entertainers never give up. We're always on.
Well, you know, it's like a lot of friends of mine that say to me, Alan, you work too hard. And I say, no, I retired many years ago. The reason I say that is because I'm doing what I really enjoy doing. I've got a real passion for it.
What is it, performing? Is it the rush from the audience reaction? Is it actually performing and fooling people, showing your abilities? Or what is it that makes you keep going?
Well, think of it this way. You're always working in people's good times. You're working when they're celebrating special occasions. So I've got a friend that works in the social welfare, and he sees the sadder side of life, where we're so lucky as being professionals working in the entertainment industry. We see all the good times where the people are celebrating, having fun, and that's what I love.
That's what you love. I think that's wonderful. We've spoken about your history, the places you've been, your input into the world of magic, all the accolades you've had, but we haven't seen you perform, and I'm sure we'd all like to see some magic. Here's Alan.
Well,
do some
Guy,
magic.
Have you been hypnotised before? You'd make a perfect subject, but don't worry about that, Guy. Tonight I'm going to read your mind. Now, would that be a miracle or a challenge?
I think it'd be a miracle if you could find my mind, but do your best.
Yeah, for the card, I want you to think of a playing card, any playing card bar the Joker, and I'll tell you what it is. Now,
Anyone?
Anyone, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Do you have one in mind?
I do.
You're thinking of The Guy Cater Show. No, we have a communication problem. I was wrong, Guy. I was picking up the words The Guy Cater Show. You can tell us now, what was your card?
6 of diamonds.
The 6 of diamonds? That's very strange, in fact, rather bizarre, Guy, because I just happen to have a deck of cards right here in my pocket. Now, as you can see, the cards are all different. By the way, Guy, what's the name of this card here?
That's the King of Diamonds.
The King of Diamonds. And you chose the 6 of diamonds, didn't you?
I did.
Let's have a look and see if we can find the 6. And when you see it, there it is. We'll just pop it right down there. And that's the King. But the King always reminds me of
Oh, Elvis.
Elvis. That's
Yes.
right. The 3 reminds me of the Three Stooges. I find a lot easier to put names on the backs of my cards. Names like Zachary. That's right. Hey, John. All different names. You chose quite an obscure card. In fact, you chose a lot of guys actually picked the Ace of Spades. Would you like to turn that one over and read out what it has on the back? Because that one always reminds me of
The Guy Cater Show.
do 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 do.
And I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, unlike Dynamo, we haven't set anything up. That is brilliant.
Another thing that I'd like to show you, Guy, is a little story. In New Zealand, we have a native race called the Maori. And to the Maori, the thread of life is like a sacred object. And represented by this piece of cotton here now. Now, the thread of life can be broken into many facets. You get childhood, when that child goes to school. And finally, you get old age. Now, you can take all those broken pieces there, Guy, and roll them into what they call the ball of life. Now, you can actually roll the ball of life into the thread of life. Now, there's one underlying thing about the thread of life and the ball of life to the Maori. Do you know what that is, Guy?
No.
The magic of life. Can I just borrow your hand here, mate? This hand here. Hold on to the thread there. Just hold on to the thread. That's it. And this one here. And blow. Go. And slowly bring them apart. The magic of life. Because that is what keeps everything together.
Oh, that's
For them.
beautiful. That is beautiful. That's magic. That is magic, Alan. Ah,
Hey, Guy, have you heard of a guy called Dynamo?
I have heard of Dynamo,
Well,
yes.
I'd like to show you a Dynamo trick. This is actually going to be on his next TV special. Can I just hold out your hand there? I just need to take a photograph of your hand. Let's have a look. There we go. Get a nice photograph. Just turn your hand over. That's it. That's a nice shot there, about there. Now you can see a little friend of mine here. His name is Bobby. Now Bobby does tricks, and here he is. Come on down, Bobby. Here he is, Guy. He's racing down here. He's heard my voice. Here he is. Come on, Guy. There we go. He's coming down here.
Oh, it's a cockroach.
And he's very affectionate. He likes a tickle or two. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Right on the tongue, Guy. Right on the tongue. And I bring him back. Come on back, Bobby. Come on back. Guy doesn't like you. Come on back. That's it. Come on back. And now, Guy, can you just use your other hand and wave over and say, come back, Guy. Come back, Bobby.
Come back, Bobby.
Oh, he didn't seem to come back. I'll tell you what, turn your hand over and say, come back. And that's magic.
Oh, I hate cockroaches. Oh, Alan, that was very, very good. And all the magic you performed has been fantastic. And it's been such a thrill to have you here. And I'm sure a lot of you would like to see Alan. So don't forget, every Sunday night at Waipuna Hotel and Conference Centre in Mount Wellington in Auckland. Alan, it's been a pleasure. Alan Watson,
Thank you.
there.
Thank you, Guy.
Welcome back to the Guy Cater Show. Our second guest tonight is Gish.
G'day.
It's
How's it
great
going,
to
Guy?
have you here, mate. It
Thank you for having
really
me.
is. I'm quite excited about it. For those that don't know, Gish is a prolific writer of parodies, and they're usually pretty rude. And you're touring everywhere at the moment. Let's start right at the beginning. When did you decide to become an entertainer?
It wasn't actually me, Guy, that decided I was, I was doing band stuff before I was doing comedy stuff.
Ah.
So I actually got, after doing a bit of music school, and I was wanting to perform some of my original songs at a venue. A friend took me up to, which isn't there now, it's the Temple,
Oh,
when the
yes.
Temple was playing. And I was going to do some of my serious songs, and I saw that the tempo inside the room was up tempo sort of bit, and I didn't want to bring everyone down, so I decided to play 3 of my comedy songs and my humorous songs, as I call them then, and they just pretty much sent me down to the classic the next week. So I wasn't ready for it actually at the time. Even when I got down to the classic.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
lucky for us. It
was a bit of a shock.
Yes, it took
Yeah.
hold. Where are you from?
I was born in Rotorua. When anyone asks me where am I from, that's quite a long question to answer because I was born in Rotorua, didn't live there long, shifted around. I think I worked out I'd been to lived in 9 different places before the age of 6 or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but kind of settled down at the back of Huntly. Don't like telling too many people that because you know, people start locking me out of places. Little place called Pukimiru.
Oh,
So I grew up out there from the age of 6 to 17, 18 or something like that. Yeah, before moving around a bit again.
Nice quiet area there.
Pukimiru.
Yeah.
In a way.
Parties?
Well, yeah. When you live across the main party central of town, straight across the road, yeah, I wouldn't call it that quiet.
So you
it's a nice
write the
place, nice
songs,
place.
you go out and perform them. Now, when did you start working solo?
I was always working solo right from the beginning, but I started in comedy in 2000. So yeah, I finished music school. I did music school from 97 to 99, and then it was a particular class that kind of taught me to bring out how to write songs and stuff, and I just kind of added a bit of humour into my songs, and that's how kind of it stepped up from there. So started in 2000, and I was pretty much going solo all the way from there. Then there was my own songs for about a year and a half before I decided to do parody, and then it kind of stepped up another level again, and then I was pretty much stuck with the parodies.
So your entire
Well,
show
was it?
is comedy. You do gags, or you interact with the audience.
Yeah, could say they're gags
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and stuff, just basically taking the mickey out of other people's words and stuff.
What's
and
your
lyrics.
buzz when you're performing?
My buzz when I'm performing, having a good crowd can be part of the best buzz. A crowd can be the maker or breaker of how your show goes for the night, really.
Yeah, yes.
So a good attentive crowd, I think, is the topper for everything. After that is being on form.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you performed all around New Zealand, and you've been overseas, Chatham Islands.
Yeah, if you could call that overseas, right?
I call that overseas.
Yeah, it's almost going backwards in time, isn't it, really? Was it going forward in time? Going to Australia's back in time? I don't
Back in
know.
time. Yes, going to. You went to Australia.
Yes,
What did you
a
do
couple.
there?
Well, I claimed a little bit of land and I did a few gigs over in Brisbane and a little bit up that side. But we did a massive tour up the Western Australia from Perth, and then went all the way down to the bottom. Was it Albany or Albany? They like to. You
Yeah.
can never get it right. Say Albany and someone say Albany, and you go Albany, and they're like Albany, and
Albany.
so right up to Broome, a bit further up.
That's a big trip.
Yeah.
How long did that take?
It was over a period of 2 months.
Wow.
And yeah, we had like the massive as camper, like 6-berth camper for just like 3 people, which only I used really to camp out in.
The comedy festival is coming up soon. You're doing a show there?
Yes, I've been doing a lot of work with this other Māori guy, Minsa, or Maro, he likes to be preferred, known as. He is very well known. He's travelled around doing multicultural group stuff. So he's toured around a lot more than I have doing his multicultural stuff. But I picked him up in Brisbane where his mate kind of forced him into it. Long story short, he ended up coming along doing a bunch of gigs with us, and he's only gigged with us only. So he's never been done any other raw gigs of any sorts. He's always done pro gigs with me, and he's doing the festival with me this year, which is Is He Even Real? So it's kind of like my show, but it's got him in it, and it's his show as well, obviously. Those ones are a little bit hard to explain, but yeah, he's very, very funny, and with us doing our solo shows together, mingling them together, it's stepped up our game again, so we're really looking forward to this festival show.
Well, my mate Rick Harris from Christchurch and I came along and saw you both working in Christchurch last year.
Yes.
And, if your show at the comedy festival is half as funny as we saw, it's going to be brilliant. So I hope you get good crowds.
Yeah, thank you.
I've always wanted to ask you, do you get anybody who may not really like the character you portray at the beginning of your show?
Yes, interesting question you have there, Guy. Yes, I do get some righteous people, people that are a little bit fond of New Zealand, Māori side of it, do have a go at me for having a go at Māori things.
Yes.
But like I always tell them, you got to laugh at yourself first, right? Got to laugh at yourself first. I can't go doing songs about if other ethnic races around,
Right.
or you know, like my big girl in the corner. Although I'm not a big guy myself, but I don't know how I get away with that one. But you know, you got to have a laugh at yourself before you can laugh at anyone else, really. So that's how I always used to start off my shows, by laughing at myself first. But
Yes.
I used to get a lot of, especially some Māori people, a little bit upset with what I was coming up with. It's like, come on, you know, you're coming out for comedy. It's not.
Yeah.
We're not actually getting political here or anything like that. Yeah.
I guess you've heard of Lou and Simon back in the 50s and 60s. No? Howard Morrison and Jerry Merito. Yes, you've heard of Sir
Yeah,
Howard.
no,
You've heard of Sir Howard.
yeah.
And of course, they took the mickey as well. And it's very funny, and best of all, it's very honest.
Yeah, well, you know, you just got to, you do it because the stereotyping that gets that laugh, you know, people laugh at it because that's what they've been stereotyped to do, and although a lot of people know it's not real, that's what all
It's
taking a
funny.
mickey is about, isn't it, really?
It is.
Yeah.
You're quite right. It's funny. The name Gish, what does that mean?
The name Gish, short for biggish, no, very tiny, if you can see. No, no, it's massive. Check that out. Actually came from I was trying to grow my hair on the in-between and couldn't tie it up, and every time I brushed it, it looked like Little Richard. And it was very like, ooh, gay, and I just let it, I was just letting it grow wild, and my girlfriend's parents, friends of them at the time, they were going, oh, and what's your story, young man? Look at your hair, it's all over the place. Look like a bit of a gollywog. And I was like, and my friends go, oh yeah, gollywog, look at you, you gollywog. And then they started to hassle me in the background. They're like, yeah, looks like a gish mop. Ah, yeah, looks like a gish mop. Oh yeah. No, it looks like a gish. And I knew what a gish mop was, but I didn't know what a gish was, so I kept running with the gish because I don't really like my real name, and people keep asking me what it is, and I ain't going to tell them, so...
I won't ask.
Okay. Gish is fine.
You should know the name Gish because it's all over that big trailer. And what's the tag?
I should know it because it's my name as well,
Yes.
but it's Rockstar New Zealand Comedy. That's right.
Rockstar New Zealand
Rockstar.
Comedy. You do play guitar.
Yes, I do. Do you play a little bit of guitar?
Yeah.
I like to, well, just a little bit.
So your show is you playing your
Yes.
songs, they're comedy songs.
Well, they're not my songs, they're actually someone else's songs that I...
But you parodied them.
Yeah, part of my land claim.
And they are very funny.
Thank you very much.
Obviously somebody told you to break a leg. What happened with that?
Well, I don't need to anymore because went out and did it. Yeah.
How did you do that?
I was sliding down a hill in Waiheke. I was about to take my girlfriend down to have a look down at the beach, and the track went like this, and in between the zigzags there was these grassy bits that went down like that, and I, here babe, hold this, hold my bag, and I went skating down it like that, and at the bottom it drops off like that a little bit, and it, you know, the light you couldn't quite see it, so when I dipped into that, couldn't see what was going on. It was going too fast to be able to focus my eyes on it, and hit the concrete path at the bottom and twisted all my ankle, and it split it kind of like what do you call it, a green leaf twig or a green leaf break or something like that. So instead of breaking like that, it's broken kind of like that.
Sounds painful.
Oh yeah, it was painful at the time. Girlfriend thought it was hilarious.
And here I was hoping for a story of falling off a stage or being attacked by fans.
Yes,
But you were
well-
sliding down a hill. Serves
No,
you right.
no, that's exactly what happened. Raging fans, they were just coming at me in hordes.
That's
hordes,
what
I tell you.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Gish, some people have not seen you. These are the people we want to promote. And they're saying to themselves, can he sing? Is he funny? Will you show us?
I think I could do that.
Cool.
Blood clots keep forming in my head, and that sort of means that I will soon be really dead on the floor in fits, 'cause blood clots keep forming in my head, they keep forming. What are you guys up to? So I'd like to perform for you right now my Māori song in English. Yeah, he owes me a new car. All my iwi's behind bars. May I don't know where I are. May I borrow your Start that goddamn bike. Keys to start another fight. Man, I'm lucky scored your car. Another Toyota. Well, thank you very much. That was my Māori song in English, but that last word, Toyota, I don't actually know what that means.
That was fantastic. I love it, Gish. Now, you're doing your comedy show, the Comedy Festival. Let's promote that a little bit. That's in the San Francisco
Bathhouse.
Bathhouse
Yep.
in Wellington.
Yep, from the 27th to the 30th.
And Cuba in Auckland.
Cuba in Auckland from the 4th to the 8th of May.
Go along and see a really funny man. Gish, it's been great, mate.
Thank you very much.
so much for coming in.
Cheers, Guy.
And you didn't swear once. I'm so impressed.
No.
No.
How did I manage that? Thank you, Guy. Cheers, mate.
Now, don't forget, join us next week, same time, same place, same channel, here at Face TV, Sky 83. And once more, you'll enjoy the Guy Cater Show.